For the first part, we have seen how to write JUnits, simple JUnits, how it will be useful, and what is the best way to write JUnits for the coding, and what is the use to write JUnits for coding we have seen. And today we will see how many ways we have JUnits to write. And simple JUnits is to cover normal unit testing. It will not cover all the scenarios like unit testing. Unit testing nothing but this is basically for method level, so JUnit is that. But even we have advanced concepts of JUnits which will cover remaining parts also. Nothing but integration testing we have. Earlier, whatever I have explained, integration testing nothing but it will communicate one layer to other layer. This is not like unit testing, it will cover only within the class whatever methods are available. But integration testing is nothing but it will cover one component to other component. For example, we have a data access layer which will connect to the DB, so that we cannot write test case for unit testing. In that case, we have to go for the integration testing, so it will cover other component to write a test case from first layer to. And we will see how many ways we have for writing test case for database. Simple JDBC, we can go for the DBUnit, and if we have a Hibernate, we have a chance to use HSQL DB testing, so we'll go for the DBUnit. And nowadays, like day by day how Java is growing, extending with all the frameworks, even JUnit also getting extended, so each and everything we have a JUnits for. Not only database, for example, if we go to the real scenarios, database we have a DBUnit, Hibernate, for Hibernate we have HSQL DB. For example, if we want to write any email testing, we have a green mail, and for SMS we have a SMPP unit testing. So like if we go write each and everything, we have a chance to write JUnits. Until that is not our external systems, nothing but which we pay and get the services. So first we will discuss about the DBUnit. So everybody will have a doubt here first. So why can't we write one test case? So for example, I have a service layer and I have a DAO layer. Service layer will connect to the DAO layer. So I can happily create object for DAO service layer. From service layer I can connect to DAO and I can use DB details. For example, if it is not higher environment, I will try to use lower environment, nothing but dev environment. I can use credentials to connect to DB, and I can insert or delete whatever operations are available in service layer. I can use it. So everybody will think in that way. But how far is that correct? Is correct way? Because connecting to the actual environment database to test JUnits, it's not the correct way. Always JUnit will use mock data, and that mock data will corrupt whenever we are connecting to the actual DB. The data will get corrupted, and it's not the correct to use DB details for JUnits. So in that case, we have a DBUnit concept. This is basically will use a mock data which will not use whatever availability in DBUnit. So that is the best concept for this DBUnit. And DBUnit is an open source framework created by Manuel Laflamme. DBUnit is a powerful tool for simplifying unit testing of the database operations. It extends the popular JUnit framework. This is the advanced concept just now we discussed. DBUnit provides a very simple XML based mechanism for loading the test data in the form of data set in XML file before a test runs. So DBUnit, what it will do now, we have to give actual actual DB details, which environment we have to use. So this is basically, it will map to the database, but it will not take any data which is available in that environment data. So always we have to use lower environment DB details, but the data whatever that will be, we have to specify in XML, so that will be accessed for that specific database. Data will be XML data, but environment details, dev environment DB details, we have to specify. So be careful, we have to use only lower environment. Actually this DB details which will be useful to validate whatever data we have provided in XML, and whatever methods we have written DAO, is that having correct mapping to the actual DB or not. So just for the validations we have to use for XML. And DBUnit training provides all the theoretical concepts and practical knowledge ranging from introduction and setting up the environment to writing and running test with suitable examples. After completing this course, you will be able to do unit testing of the database operations safely and avoid problems that can occur when one test corrupts the database and causes subsequent test to fail. So make sure whatever you have written, it should be correct in the proper way, because we are connecting to the DB, but do validate, don't forget that. This helps the developer to quickly unit test a database driven application. You can completely test persistence layer of your application. So we'll go to the sample example for a DBUnit. So this is my class. Now we are going to write test case for this DBUnit, and I'm using salary calculation, and I have a connectivity get connection methods to connect DB, and I have a method like this is my implementation method. For this one I have to write, here it is doing salary calculation. So this is the connection and this is the calculate method. So we'll start writing test case, and now we are going to write test case for the above class. So this is the DBUnit data.xml which I mentioned previously. This is the data it is going to use for DBUnit. So make sure whatever salary details we are using, this should be mapping to actual DB whatever we have. Okay. So first we'll see what is our so salary details table name, and employee ID details, employee ID, salary, bonus, increment. These are the four columns which we have in salary details. And if you see, these are the details. This is our table. If you see salary details is the table name, and employee ID, salary, bonus, increment are 4 columns. So exactly we have to give all the details whatever columns we have in that. So this is my test case. I am writing test case for that. So main part we have to remember, it should be extends database test case, and we have to specify the table name, and we have to connect to the DB. So for example, which I mentioned earlier, we have to use lower environment, and we are trying to load the data which is available in DBUnit data.xml. And see, I am calculating salary details as per whatever details we have in DB. See, I have a employee ID 2436356A. So for this employee ID, we are calculating the salary. If you see, right, for this person salary should come 13245, 13,244. So we are doing that. basically, so this is the calculation it is doing, and I have written positive scenario and negative scenario. Nothing but if employee is available, what is the salary? If employee is not available, so obviously we are not doing any validations, employee ID is available or not. If available, we are calculating. If we are not, it is not available, so obviously that salary will come 0. So our class is not fully perfect, just we have taken simple example. So here also we have database connectivity, but data is whatever we have uploaded in XML will be considered as a rows in DB. Yes. Instead of using actual data, we are providing dummy data for DBUnit, especially for test methods for database connectivity classes. So as we discussed earlier, we are not using actual data, we are using dummy data. So for the details, you can see what and all jars are required for this, and after testing, so this is our test results. So this is a very easy method. I feel you can easily understand by seeing this and by seeing this video. Thank you.